welcome back to episode 11 of TeaLimePie. This is the podcast where we read your ghost stories off of Reddit or whatever you have sent in. I myself am not a believer of the spookies, but we have a resident ghost expert, my friend here, Coffee Ghostea,
Hello.
and she is a believer.
Yee.
Yeah, she kind of has to. It's in the name.
It is, yeah.
For those of you who listened to last week's podcast, I just want you to know I did not find any vampires on a plane. But apparently there's a movie, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. What was it called again?
Blood Red Sky, I think.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
You're joking
On
that
Netflix.
it's probably just gonna bring up a Snakes on the Plane type movie, and then it ended up doing just that.
I'm a little disappointed though. I kind of wanted to read about more vampires on planes.
Right? Shoot.
Okay, we have a few stories for you today. The first one is called Turns Out It Wasn't Sleep Paralysis.
Yay.
Yeah. So, a few years ago, I got woken up in the middle of the night by a vibrating after image
Oh.
in the shape of a hand.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's how some people would like to wake up. So.
We don't need to know about the freaky shit you get up to at night.
Yeah. Living the dream over there, my guy.
Best ghost ever.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Okay. I got freaked out by that, and on instinct, I sat straight up and rubbed my eyes. Then opened them. The after image left, but on the far right corner of my bed, though, there was the ring-style looking woman sitting with her legs folded, the only difference in her appearance being that her hair didn't cover up her face. So I could see her glowing white eyes. Note that I have never seen the movie before, still haven't. Wait. How do you know what she looks like?
I mean, they put her on all the covers and stuff.
Oh,
so.
that's true. Okay,
yeah.
take it back. She was staring at me. I then, in Christian instinct, freaking recited a verse from the Bible. She then covered up her ears, tilted her head back, and inaudibly screamed. After that, she sort of faded away and was gone. I wasn't scared at all when that happened for some reason, though. Probably because I wasn't completely awake at the time. Also, yeah, I know it sounds fake and cheesy, which is why I wrote it off simply as sleep paralysis, and the woman was just a sleep paralysis demon. But it doesn't make any sense for it to be sleep paralysis since I moved a lot during that encounter. Also note that I don't remember this wrong since I wrote it down when it happened. My little sister also told me that she had seen the woman before too, in the far back bed, crawling towards her. Ugh. Have we read this story before?
I'm thinking we did. The Christian instinct part set me off. I'm like, wait, someone else has said that in a story before.
Yeah. What got me was I was like, man, there are a lot of demons in beds.
Yeah, because then her mom was like, yeah, I've seen it too. Yeah, I think.
Well, we're reading it again. Crawling towards her when she woke up in the middle of the night. And then she left when she closed her eyes. We sleep in the same bed. Oh, a bunk bed. So it seems like it's just our bed. My mom told me that she had seen the same woman in the corner of the living room for a split second. Also, there isn't only ghost sighting I've had. a year before this happened, I saw a silhouette of a little girl with a ponytail running from the left to the right at the end of the hallway. Oh yeah, because she said the ghost had the zoomies.
Yeah, that's
Hasn't happened. In the middle of the night when I went to go drink some water. Another time was when I was in bed and saw the silhouette of a tall man in the door pass of the hallway. Yeah, this happened in Germany, by the way, where, well, tons of people and tons of war happened and loads of people probably unalived right where I live. So probably it. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed that story for a second time.
If you want to hear our full thoughts, it was on episode 3.
I think it's like, is it 3? I thought it was like 1.
I just checked, yeah.
Shit. That's so funny. She's like, it was sitting on the corner of my bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder if we made the same joke at the beginning of the story too, of the vibrating after.
Probably. Oh no.
So good. Well, I'm gonna make sure that one goes into the finished column this time.
Oh no. I know what happens to me. I'm like, oh, when we're done, I'll move them over, and then I don't.
It's so funny. All right, your turn.
Okay. We're gonna learn about the Church Poltergeist. I find churches really creepy, so I want to know what happened.
You know what though? I would love. There's 2 churches near our house here for sale. And I would love to get one of them and convert it into like a living space, like a house.
Yeah,
that would be so cool. I want to do it so badly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen people do that with like churches or old schools. There's a little school like for sale that's been for sale up the road from us for a while. I'm like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, a lot of people like out east and where my mom lives.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do that because like that area is just overrun with churches.
Yeah, gotta use them up somehow. All right. This is my second story of abnormal or unusual happenings in my life. Oh, I'll have to check for another one.
Yeah.
I like writing. Yeah, I like writing them down to share and remember them. You can take the experience as you choose. This is a true story from my view. To protect the location and identity, I'll be vague. This is still an active church and congregation, so if by sheer coincidence you figure it out, please don't go knocking on their doors, asking to ghost hunt. I'm not necessarily a believer in ghosts, though you can call me skeptical. Once again, sorry for the long read. Several years ago, I was living on the outskirts of Greensboro, North Carolina. I focused on college and was living with my family. My family had a music director at a local Presbyterian church. On the side, this particular church had a theater program for young, interested actors. They put on small plays when school was not in session. Anyways, a lot of stuff around our house became props for the shows at this theater to save money. It was a week after Thanksgiving and my family began to decorate our house for the holidays. I was home one night just relaxing. I asked my family to drive over to the church and pick up 2 outdoor decorative Christmas trees we normally put outside of our house. I didn't say no, of course, and made the drive to the church. The building itself was relatively old. It had 3 attached sections, an administrative building where the pastor and church offices were located, the main chapel and classroom theater building, and behind the church was a decent-sized graveyard. It was around 8 p.m. and the sun was already down, so it was dark outside at this point. I opened the door to the theater building, deactivated the security alarm to begin finding these trees. The theater This particular building was upstairs, so I made the small climb to the second floor. At this point, I had already turned on all the lights to help ease my already present feeling of unease. I make it to the theater and begin to make my way towards the stage. I was told the trees were backstage, so I had a short walk to go. While I'm walking, I began to hear shuffling backstage. Something was moving back there, but I couldn't see since the curtains were closed. Could have it been a mouse or something explainable? Possibly, but this moving sounded like stuff getting dragged. I paused to regain what composure I had, knowing I didn't want to go back to the house empty-handed. I moved quickly behind the curtains to find the trees and hightail it off the stage to the back of the theater. I get the trees to the car and I'm getting ready to drive home. Then, of course, it struck me. I left the lights on, doors unlocked, and security system off.
Oh, man. Of course.
Yeah. I again must have...
I'd just leave it and be like, fuck it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, someone can break in. It's fine.
Exactly. I mustered the courage to head back inside to complete the locking of the building. I head back to the theater to turn off the lights. As I'm there, I begin to hear footsteps on the stage. The stage, mind you, is dark, but the seating area is lit. For giggles, I just went to see what happens when, at this point, I tap shave and a haircut on the wall. I actually recorded it on my 2011 era Gen 1 Android phone. Where's the video? That footage, sadly, has been lost over the years.
Always.
You gotta back that shit up. Put it in the cloud.
That's exactly when I stopped believing you.
But anyways, I digress. No sooner had I finished than it sounded like a boom came from backstage. It sounded like one of the set pieces had fallen over. I dared not look or try to find the source. I turn off the lights, go back downstairs. At this point, I'm holding my bladder as well, so in classic horror movie fashion, I decided the best thing to do is relieve myself first instead of leave the building. No lie, as I'm there peeing, I start hearing the floors creaking above me as if something was heading towards the stairs to come down.
It's a good thing she's already on a toilet.
Yeah. At this point, I must have a heart rate around 150 and I'm ready to just make my escape, but I was in that fight or flight scenario. No sooner had I finished washing my hands, I noticed the sound stopped above. I activate the security system, turn off the lights, and head out. To this day, I have never returned to that church, not because I didn't want to, but I moved shortly after. As much as I would love to figure out what happened that night, it was by far one of the most intense, terrifying nights of my life. Anyone have anything similar?
I like that she stopped to go pee.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, this is the most terrifying night of my life. 1 second, I have to pee.
I got to pee. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess
That's
I'd rather...
so funny to me.
Yeah. Rather let it out than get jump scared again and then it's all over.
I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know if I was truly scared, I don't know if I would want to spend any more time. Like, I'll go pee in the bush outside.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and like if you're not that far away from home, like, just hold it. Oh my gosh.
Please hold your haunting so I can pee.
Yeah.
Then you may continue.
I don't think I'd want to be in like a locked, small space while I'm scared. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm always paranoid because of movies. I never pick the first stall. I'm like, okay, if somebody's like breaking in to do something, I at least have a second. Ooh. They're gonna check the first stall and I can like crawl under to get away.
That's smart. What? That is so smart.
Call it smart or paranoia. But yeah, I don't think I'd want to go willingly to the bathroom stall when It's a ghost running around knocking shit over.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think if it was the most terrifying experience of your life, why would you want to prolong it?
Yeah, that's true. You already had to go back in to shut everything off.
Yeah. Rude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but rude.
People, back up your phone stuff. We need to see footage. Jeepers.
I wonder... I should reach out to my mom and see, because I was thinking about, like, writing out my ghost encounters. And I know my mom likes to keep evidence and stuff. I'm gonna ask her if, like...
Ooh, that'd be dope.
If she's got anything, and I'll write up some of my family ghost stories.
Hell yeah, dude.
Or family tricks of the light and gusts of wind.
Yeah.
All right, so the last one today is called Ghost Train. I'm on a transportation kick, apparently. I like trains.
I like trains.
All right. All my life, I have been obsessed with train. I think there's supposed to be an S at the end of that.
Just with one train.
Just with train.
Train as an entity.
For a second, I thought maybe, like, there's a band, right, called Train.
Oh, there is, yeah.
I thought this was going in another completely different direction.
Hey, soul sister.
Okay. So when my photography class topic for the month was transportation, I knew I wanted to get photos of trains. For a little background, all my life I've lived currently still do live in this house that is right next to train tracks, owned by a company that I'm not going to say on the podcast. So there are only trains that go through. Background over. Oh, okay. The past couple days, I've been going to these tracks and waiting around for 2 hours on average for a train to appear over the horizon. Because the way a certain track works is one direction is a 3-mile straight track and the other has a railroad crossing. This will be important later. Eventually, a train will go by, I'll get my photos, and I'll go home. But last night, I got really upset over a girl and just my friend groups in general. And something in the back of my mind wanted to go to the train tracks. Just relax. No. Keep this in mind, it was 12:30 a.m. But anyway, I walk up there and there's a homeless lady that has been staying near the tracks for the past 2 weeks was gone. So I was completely alone with only the street light to light the way. But I could see fine. I sat on the tracks and immediately my head just starts throbbing and I get super dizzy. I repositioned myself and it went away. Then I thought, hey, I saw this thing where you put your ears to the rail and you can see the train is coming. So I did this. I heard the loudest train noise in my life. It sounded like the train was right next to me. My head started throbbing and I started getting dizzy again. Then I got off the tracks and stood there for a sec and thought to myself that I was probably just hearing things. I go back to the tracks and start getting really emotional and felt as if something was watching me. Then the throbbing and dizziness happened again, and I actually almost fell and passed out on the tracks. That would have been very bad. I immediately hopped off the tracks and tried to call friends to tell them what happened. Only one picked up. I told him what happened, and he completely understood. I started walking home with him on the call, and I began to hear quiet train horns in my head. That's when I told him I was going to try nodding.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
To Google.
And see if the topic I chose would lead me to the train tracks. I thought of my destiny, and wouldn't you know, the Randonaut location was the local train yard. When I'm gonna have to look up what that is. I went home with my friend and still on the call, and I told him that I wanted to show him something. I got this fortune card when I was a freshman in high school, and I didn't really believe it until one of the first things on it started to come true. And the last thing it says on the fortune card is beware of railroad crossings, which has always stuck out to me. Like I said, I've always been close to this train tracks, and there's a railroad crossing right up the track from where this happened. This is the end of the story. I know it's a bit choppy and not the best storytelling, but it happened, and it really creeped me out when it happened. Thank you for reading. Huh?
I know, I'm confused. I
am so confused.
I looked up random nodding, and I still don't understand what it is. I'm so confused.
What does Google tell us it is?
Randonauting is a practice that involves using Randonautica app to explore your local area randomly, guided by coordinates generated by the app. Users are encouraged to set an intention or goal before venturing out, hoping to discover unexpected synchronicities or coincidences relevant to their intention. The app's premise is that by exploring randomly, users might encounter unusual or meaningful experiences.
Oh, okay, I get it. So he put in my destiny as like his thought or whatever, and seeing what the app would tell him, where the app would tell him to go. It said a train track or train whatever. That would be his destiny.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
okay, this story had so many times I thought this story was gonna get real dark.
Yeah. Please don't be putting your head on train tracks, please.
What? Don't play on train tracks, period.
Do not, no.
Like, it's just, I feel like that's common knowledge. There are so many, what is it, Bugs Bunny episodes that tell you exactly why this is not a good idea.
Exactly. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
I'm
at a loss for words.
Yeah. I just want a good transportation ghost story, please.
First one was vampires. This one, I just don't even really know what happened.
I just left sad and confused.
Yeah.
I will find a good one, guys, I promise.
There will be a good transport story.
I'm just gonna start taking like plots from like Supernatural or something. Because they did pretty good, right?
Yeah. Clearly, they had like 10 whatever seasons, so.
Did you know? Okay, completely off topic again. I know, I always do this. I watched all of Supernatural except for the last episode because I didn't want it to end.
No.
I still to this day have not seen the last episode.
Oh my gosh. Someday you have to. You must.
We'll see.
Oh my goodness.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate it. If you want to find us individually, you can find us over on whatever social media you use. We have Coffee Ghostea and Lime Jello Monster on Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, and other things I can't think of right now.
Yeah.
The links will be down in the description below. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you, and have a good night.
Sleep tight.